So the thing about, like, this game, the dating sim, When the Night Comes, technically I already played some of it. I say technically because I wasn't actually playing it. I was doing a read-along with my friends Hazel and Casey, back in the day, but then we stopped doing it because of reasons. And we haven't picked it up since, so that's why I'm playing it blind. So I do have a good idea of the game. Like, I know some of the characters, already. But I haven't really gotten that far. We didn't do any romance stuff. So yeah, let's play. Tell us your first name. It's Yui. Okay. Now your surname. I'm assuming it's last name, so Nyan Pasu. Choose your pronouns. She. I use she, they, but I'm just gonna use she, her. When the night comes. Pretty. You have been selected for immediate transfer and are authorized to report to the enforcement headquarters in Laris Escria. I can't fucking read! Please find your mission information and all other relevant documents enclosed. Once the information has been digested, we order that documents are promptly destroyed. This information is highly classified, as are all details of your relocation. Upon arrival, please go to General Augustus Willenheim. Respectfully, Lieutenant General Harold Addington III. This is awkward because I'm literally showing this to, like, my chat right now. I arrived in Lunaris at dusk. I've been traveling for days. My feet are sore, my eyes tired, and all I can think about is how much I need a damn good sleep. Fat mood. Even though I literally, like, took a nap today. I'm a hunter, and I've been called here by the Lieutenant General of Escria to lead an investigation. The matter is apparently urgent if the rapid way in which I have been summoned is anything to go by. The things that you hear about in ghost stories and fables are all real, and it's my duty, my purpose, to protect humanity from those creatures that go bump in the night. There have been a series of particularly violent murders here in Lunaris lately, and the local enforcers, the agency that oversees us, can't seem to put their finger on who or what the culprit is. I was the most skilled hunter general in the previous town I was assigned to, but I eagerly welcomed the change of scenery. Even if it does involve murder and a healthy dose of existential dread, that's just life in general, man. Though as I sink further into town, the feeling that washes over me is making me wonder if I made the right choice. As if I even really had one at all. Our lives are bound, and I live to serve. As hunters, we're the only ones equipped to deal with such monstrosities. I steel myself and wander aimlessly through the unusually narrow streets, unable to focus on much else other than the thought of a warm meal and a comfy bed. The only thing that distracts me from such thoughts is the way the sky begins to turn an inky, infinite black. Wisps of mist swirl around my ankles, seeping out from every crack and crevice. Flickers of magic are present within the smoky tendrils, and I can't help but wonder if my mind is playing tricks on me. I turn a sharp corner and see people running, scooping up small children, scrambling to get inside. I hear the sound of doors slamming and locking, echoing off the crooked stone walk. Listen, if y'all are trying to avoid me, you don't need to go through that measures. I mean, I know I'm a cackle and that's kind of cringe, but still, that's kind of rude, don't you think? Curtains are drawn, windows are closed, and then darkness, the abnormal kind. Although the stars are shining brightly at a glance, the crescent moon hangs low. Neither offer much light. It's unsettling to say the least. A chill rolls down my spine, and I walk faster, my sore feet continuing their protest. I spot a mage light lantern as I head further down the street. The dull flame flickers invitingly in the darkness, drawing me in. I push the weathered wooden door, and the light tinkle of the bell that hangs above my head announces my presence. It's empty, only very dimly lit by a few worn-down candles. The shelves are stocked with curious trinkets and jars of strange-looking ingredients and potions, and an apparently endless collection of dusty old books lines the walls. It smells faintly of incense, and a little of... is that ozone? Yes, like the way the air smells just before a storm. Oh, I thought you meant, like, the ozone layer, like, you know, like the layer of, like, dust that's, like, above, like, Earth. Like, I thought, like, straight up, like, it was, like, the ozone layer in here. Could you imagine? Like lightning. I hear footsteps and turn to find their owner, and I'm taken aback by the figure that appears from behind a pair of well-placed curtains.
I was just closing up, but can I help you?
Oh, hello, Oh, you've got a cute face. Hello, and all those freckles and those earrings and the dyed hair. Listen, I know I just got here and I literally just started streaming like 10 minutes ago, but I'm about to bust. Wide eyes burn into me, brighter than the clearest of emeralds. His aura feels distinctly magical, and I am very aware that I'm looking at a witch, a powerful one at that. I'm sorry to intrude, but I appear to be a little lost. I'm looking for the tavern? Hell yeah, let's get crunk! His gaze falls to my weapon in my sash, his cheeks darkening as realization apparently sets in.
Are you the new hunter?
Yes I am. I from a wry smile. Is it that obvious? You returns my smile and I can't help but feel welcome. At home even.
Just a little. It's lovely to meet you. The town has been alight with gossip about you this week, you know. My name is Ezra, by the way.
Ezra. I'm Yui. Nice to meet you, Ezra.
Did anyone happen to tell you not to wander the streets when darkness falls? As capable as I'm sure you are, it's not advised. Especially these days.
Oh yeah, with all the murder and shit like that, right? I shake my head, still a little out of sorts from the long journey. Then much to my embarrassment, my stomach decides to grumble loudly. How rude of me. You must be starving. Take a seat in the back room and I'll quickly fix you up something. You really don't have to do that. I better be on my way.
You'll do no such thing. It's too dangerous out there. Please, I insist. It's no trouble. Really.
Alright, well, can't deny a free meal, especially from a handsome face like yours. I can hardly refuse when he's looking at me like that. Oh, and yeah, I'm already fallen. You love to say it. Also, I'm guessing he's supposed to be like the guy next door, like archetype, like, you know, like the guy that's like always like sweet to you and shit like that. I don't want to call him r/nice guy. I nod and follow him as he parts the curtains to reveal a cozy living space. There's a small kitchenette in it with a crooked dining table, and nestled in the corner is a tattered but comfy-looking sofa. Ezra finds an old steel kettle and pops it on the stove, igniting the stubborn burner with a grunt before he turns and offers me a smile.
I'm just going to pop upstairs and get you some blankets. I really do insist you stay until morning. You must be exhausted, and I'd hate to send you out into the darkness knowing...
No, it's fine. I will gladly stay here. He pauses, stopping himself.
Just wait here, and please, make yourself comfortable.
Oh, trust me, I already am. I can think of nothing worse than walking across the street right now, let alone across town, so I swallow a polite protest. Thank you, Ezra. He disappears up a narrow staircase, and my curiosity instantly gets the better of me. A solitary candle burns upon the countertop, colorful, magical little lights hanging from various picture frames and shelves, as well as an abundance of luscious green plants. Oh, he's one of those Instagram bitches. I see. I can work with that. It's utterly enchanting, just like its owner, and obviously very well loved. There are generous amounts of personal belongings and keepsakes littering every possible nook, and I eye a tiny dish that's overflowing with brightly colored jewelry. Beside it sits a pile of crumbled parchment. Some of the pages are covered in an elegant looping script. The others are filled with lovingly rendered portraits. I tentatively reach for one of the sketches at the top of the pile, but a loud creak startles me. I turn, as alert as I've always been to be taught, as my fingers edge toward my weapon. The hairs on the back of my neck stand to attention, and I immediately know that there's a creature nearby. That's when I see them. A pair of glowing, fierce golden eyes peeking up at me from a previously hidden hatch in the floorboard. Before I can even think about defending myself... Titties. I'm pinned to the wall by a firm, cold, and inherently not human arm.
Who the hell are you? Where is Ezra?
Why do I hear boss music? His lips curl into a snarl, affording me what looks like an incredibly pointed view of a set of long, sharp fangs. Oh, is he a vampire? Interesting. Very interesting. If I hadn't already clocked his deathly pallor, there'd be no second guessing what kind of creature I'm dealing with here. Vampire. He is a vampire! I know I'd already be looking quite dead if that were truly what he wanted, and I feel nothing from him other than an overwhelming desire to protect something or someone. His aura is panic but distinctly non-threatening, so I decide to relax against his hold. I cautiously raise my hands in surrender in the hopes that he'll stand down. We're not taught to harm creatures who have no intent to harm us. It isn't what we stand for, at least not the honorable hunters. Plus, vampires are the closest thing there is to humans in a demonology handbook. Plus, I met a few reasonable ones in my time. Oh, same here. I mean, they're VTubers, but still. Emphasis on a few. Again, they are VTubers, so. He retreats a little, but as I'd hoped, just enough for me to gather my composure. Tell him Ezra's safe, ask him who he is. Ezra's safe? Ezra's fine, I swear it. Those bright, disarming eyes burn into my own, a chill skittering over my skin. He looks like he's searching for something, his dark brows twitching as he studies my face, a thick scar cutting through the one on the right. Something that looks a lot like relief settles upon his face. I can't help but wonder what a vampire is doing sneaking into Ezra's home at this hour.
If you're playing tricks on me, I'll have your head. Understand?
I hope when you say head, you mean, you know, yeah. I'm not lying. He's safe. He's upstairs. I tip my chin up towards the staircase in the hopes that he'll use his head and seek Ezra out with those impressive senses of his. He takes a step back, but he still doesn't seem to trust me. I don't entirely blame him. I know how he feels. The sound of the kettle whistling as it comes to a boil distracts him, and he visibly relaxes. His gaze quickly darts to the staircase and back to me. He steps back, the candlelight illuminating his angular face, all sharp lines and hair as black as the night. He's otherworldly, obviously attractive in that tall, dark, and dead way, and his left arm is missing from the shoulder down. Oh, I thought that was a tattoo. Neat! And it's placed in an advanced-looking prosthetic, glowing with what looks like incredibly advanced magic. He catches me looking at it and quirks that scarred brow.
Like what you see? Sorry. It's not for sale.
I mean, I do like it, but I don't want to buy it or anything. I just, you know, I thought it was a tattoo and I thought it looked pretty cool. And you're pretty cool, and yeah. Ezra appears from upstairs, his eyes wide as he surveys the sight before him.
Finn? What are you doing here?
His name is Finn. Iron fingers curl around Ezra's forearm, almost as though he's just checking he's real. His prosthetic thrums brightly as if it's responding to the touch. I sense that you felt uneasy. I came immediately. Are you okay? Ezra smiles, covering Finn's hand with his own to gently pat it. A reassuring gesture, the intricate patterns etched into the dark iron pulse like a heartbeat. I was only very briefly startled by the appearance of our new friend here. Right. Finn turns to me and dips his head in an apology.
I'm sorry about that less than savory introduction, Hunter. Things are a little on edge here lately.
I mean, with the murder happening, I can understand. I'd never have guessed. Ezra shakes his head, clearly amused by my sarcasm.
I'm fine. You really don't need to jump every stranger that passes this way.
Oh, is he a bit, you know, are they, bit fruity? Sorry, Yui, you don't need to be alarmed. He's an ally, I swear it. Even if he doesn't get the best first impression. Finn offers me a genuine, almost soft smile, but he looks guilty, as he should, I suppose. I catch Ezra eyeing me warily, clearly sensing my apprehension. It isn't like it's every night you find yourself in a magic shop staring at a witch and an apparently friendly vampire. Finn's whole demeanor changed the second he laid eyes on Ezra, and I feel any final traces of fear melting away as he steps forward and offers me his hand. The smile that crosses his lips is mischievous, and cold fingers grip my own in a firm handshake when I reach for him.
It's truly a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise, my dude. Sorry, I'm gay. His pretty eyes brush over me like a caress, his pupils dilating, and I feel myself swaying, leaning towards him almost unconsciously. Oh no, he's using his sexy vampire powers on me! There's a soft whisper of muffled thoughts echoing in my mind, and I can't quite tell if they belong to me or him. It's soothing, and whatever he's doing grants me the foresight to see that he most certainly is harmless, that he bears no ill will towards me. Sorry, the fucking whispers distracted me. Something tells me he now sees me. I'm harmless too.
Finnegan, stop that. It's not polite.
Ooh, the full name? Finn closes his eyes briefly, breaking whatever connection he's created with me, and he offers me a killer smile. Literally, shit, those fangs are really no joke. He must be pushing at least 5 centuries. I've heard of vampires and throwing their victims before a kill, but that felt more like a request to be understood, like he wanted to show me he can be trusted. He exchanged an almost sheepish, knowing glance with Ezra, and I quickly feel my mind clearing itself. It's interesting to see such a powerful creature with under a witch's gaze. So I guess we all know who the top is here, eh? He looks at me and our eyes lock. I nod once, appreciating that he cared enough to put me at ease. Then he's grinning again, wickedly. I hope you didn't hear anything untoward in there. Anyway, Ezra fusses with the kettle, pouring me a cup of fragrant tea and offering it to me on a pretty floral saucer. Here, this will help you get a good night's sleep. I take the cup with a nod, both of them staring intently as I take a small sip. It's good, refreshing, exactly what I needed. So, Yui, are you looking forward to becoming part of this shit? Ouch! Ezra elbowed him in the ribs, throwing him a stern, warning glance, and Finn flinches a little too dramatically for a big, scary creature. Lovely town?
Do you have any idea what you've gotten yourself into?
No, but hashtag yellow. Let's go, boys. Is it really that bad? I like a little adventure. I'm gonna save here just in case. I like a little adventure, because Mama didn't raise no bitch. I mean, still a little adventure. I really hope I can help. Ezra looks defeated, but strangely optimistic. I hope my words sound honest, because I really have little choice. I have to help. It's my job. My duty. Well, you certainly seem capable enough. Finn grimaces, exchanging a strange look with Ezra, and I feel like they're not telling me something.
My clan and I are at your disposal, should you require any assistance.
Thank you, Finnegan. Clan? He nods, and I decide not to press him for details, yet I'd definitely like to know how many supposedly good vampires reside here in Lunaris. I offer them both a smile and finish up my tea. Ezra hurries to take the empty cup from me and sets it upon the table, places his hand upon Finn's arm. Finn, Yui needs to rest. Maybe you should head home? Finn nods and Ezra follows him as he heads for the hatch. They embrace briefly and Finn whispers something into Ezra's ear, the witch grinning brightly as he pulls away. Then Finn's warm golden glaze locks with my own and he smiles. Oh?
Be sure to take care. If you ever need anything, just scream, and I'll come running.
What do you mean by, like, screaming? Like in terror or in, you know... Jeff, please unclip that. He winks and my treacherous cheeks starting to warm at the sight of it. He notices and laughs quietly. A deep, comforting rasp that I would most certainly find myself getting used to. Ah, so he's flirting with me. I see. I mean, I do like both of them so far, so it's gonna be hard to choose between, those two. It was nice to meet you, Finn. Finn gracefully lowers himself into the hatch, and Ezra stares into the darkness until the door slams shut. He turns and retrieves a tin of biscuits from a cupboard, offering them to me and waiting expectantly until I take a handful.
Please don't let our apprehension worry you. I'm sure you're more than capable of getting to the bottom of all this. Some are saying the town has been cursed, but I sense something else. Something bigger.
What, like government conspiracy? Well, it's always a terrible night for a curse. Even though we've only just met, I feel like I can trust him. Within moments of my arrival, I could tell that something about this town is off, and I tend to get to the bottom of this mess. I have to live up to my apparently impressive reputation, right?
We've lost people, good people, and the investigation seems to have just halted. We don't know what more we can do. Ugh. Look at me getting all emotional when you're probably dead on your feet and desperate to get some sleep.
He quickly gathers himself, forcing a laugh to break the somber mood. Nah, man, it's fine. Listen, as long as I can hear you talk, it's all good. You can talk about anything, and I would listen. Thank you for letting me stay, Ezra. I'll be out of your hair first thing. I stifle a yawn as Ezra turns to fuss with some blankets. I'm thoroughly looking forward to settling upon the sofa, however tiny it may be.
Really, it's no problem at all. Wouldn't dream of letting you wander the streets at this hour, especially after that journey. I'll see you in the morning. If you need anything, just shout.
He heads upstairs and I eagerly remove my boots. The relief is instant when I settle against the cushions, pulling the soft blanket up to my chin. Despite the abundance of questions that currently fill my mind, I swiftly fall into a blissful, dreamless sleep. After I wake, and Ezra eagerly makes me more tea, I join him in the shop as I prepare to leave. I wait patiently while he deals with what sounds like a particularly difficult customer, doing my best to eavesdrop as I survey the books that line the walls. Most of them are in languages I don't understand. There's a strange energy in the air, and my senses tell me that Ezra's visitor is also of magical origin.
You really can't just drop by like this and expect me to have what you need right away. These things take time.
That's always your excuse, Ezra. Do you not want me to work hard to save this town?
Ezra sighs, apparently not willing to argue, or maybe he knows he'll lose. The tall figure he's bickering with turns to look at me, and I'm caught off guard by their piercing eyes, their stare cutting me to my core. Oh yeah, I think this character uses they/them pronouns. They scowl, their lips pursed as they turn on a towering heel like I have target on my forehead. Ezra looks like he's about to try and say something to stop them, but they wave dismissively over their shoulder. They come to a stop before me and steal their gaze, staring me down and studying me from head to toe in a slow, pointed drag. Oh, they're looking down at me and I don't fucking blame them. I registered a familiar violet sash that adorns their torso, the very same as mine, and I exchange a quick glance with Ezra. He looks apologetic as he hurriedly emerges from behind the counter to join us. An enforcer, then. One who apparently doesn't feel that it's necessary to wear the standard uniform. Or maybe they simply think they're too important. They have a high commanding presence about them, and I can't help but wonder what rank they hold.
So you're my new subordinate? Interesting.
Ah, they're the main boss. I see. Gus. August? So this is the infamous Major General Willenheim that I had been assigned to? They're a prolific figure countrywide, and they're known for being responsible for one of the best hunters that Escaria has to offer. Oh, I think, like, they wrote the letter? Or at least the person that I have to report to, I believe. Because I think they were mentioned in the letter in the beginning. It'll be a true honor to serve under them despite their apparently icy disposition. Historically, enforcers aren't the friendliest bunch. They live to serve just as we do. But they hold a much higher authority and love to remind us about it. The way Ezra said their name carried a warning, and August scowls at him briefly before turning their attention back to me. I notice how tired they look, their eyes heavy-lidded and their skin pale, and they even almost sway where they stand. Apparently, Ezra notices too, a flash of concern crossing his features as he quickly rushes to gather some ingredients from a locked cabinet. It looks like he's done this before, seen them like this before. It's a pleasure to meet you, Enforcer Willenheim. I'm...
Yes, I know exactly who you are. Your arrival has caused quite a stir, and more than a little paperwork.
I mean, I am a pretty much a big deal, if you know, yeah. I'm pretty much a big deal around here. They glance over at Ezra, watching as he breaks off a few sprigs from a neatly wrapped bundle of herbs and pop them into a glass vial. Their foot taps impatiently on the floor, an exasperated scoff falling from their lips as they turn to look at me once again, eyes rolling. Oh, they're a Karen. I see. So tell me, Hunter Nyampasu, are you ready to partake in one of the most baffling missions I've come across? Oh, we'll see. Yes, General. Oh, we'll see. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
I do hope you're joking.
Maybe? I grin, shrugging playfully, hoping to crack their apparently rock-hard exterior. August's cheeks darken, turning a crimson shade of dusky rose. I really hope I'm not flirting with them, because I do not want to date them. They seem too strict. I can assure you I'll try my best, Enforcer Willenheim. August makes a dismissive noise, still eyeing me warily. Oh, okay, that was a weird glitch. This won't be as effective, but it'll do the job for now. As August eagerly reaches for the vial clutched in Ezra's palm, the witch pulls away and fixes them with a worried glance.
Please stop doing this to yourself. They're pushing you too far and you know it. You're better than this.
Are they, keeping themselves away? Because of, like, the whole investigation thing? If so, then that's not good. Sleep's important. I would know. I take a nap every day. Now we both know that's not true. Ezra surrenders the vial, and the viscous violet liquid glowing dully as August takes it with a trembling hand. Ezra squeezes August's fingers before pulling away. He looks impossibly sad. There's always a choice, remember that. August seems a loss for words, but manages to maintain their carefully crafted annoyance. They reach for the door with yet another roll of their eyes, pausing briefly to catch my gaze.
I'll see you tomorrow. Don't be late.
Yes, sir? I don't know what to call you. I'm just gonna assume I can call you, what did I call you before? Okay, that's all the way in the beginning. Okay, what do I call you? What did I call you before? Enforcer. I'll just call you Enforcer, because I don't want to misgender you. Yes, Enforcer. We stand outside the shop, the sky bright, but the town somehow still feeling inherently gloomy.
If you ever need anything, you know where to find me. Please don't hesitate to stop by.
I won't, mostly because I like you and I probably want to date you, but first I gotta see what the others are like. You won't get rid of me if you say that. Oh, I wouldn't mind. Oh, he liked me very much. His smile softens and I feel incredibly grateful that I stumbled across him. I mean it though, anytime, and be careful. Thank you, Ezra. I bid him farewell, reluctantly leaving the warmth and safety of the shop behind to follow the rickety old street signs that follow me toward the tavern. place I'll be calling home for the foreseeable future. The tavern is bustling and full to the brim with red-faced patrons. The table is littered with empty tankards. It's only 9:30 in the morning, but clearly the town likes to drown their sorrows, even if the sun has barely risen. Hey, I'll drink to that, man. Give me a beer. I'm just kidding, not a beer. I don't like beer. What do they have here? Because usually what I get at bars is either a vodka and Red Bull, which obviously I can't have because Red Bull is not a thing. I'm not sure if vodka's a thing either. Or a Coke and rum, which I can't get because Coke's not a thing. I think rum might be a thing. I don't know, I guess just straight vodka. Give me straight vodka, I guess. I push my way to the bar when a scowling barmaid rolls her eyes at me as I politely raise my hand to get her attention. What? I have a room here. Could I check in, please? She promptly rolls her eyes again and tucks behind the bar, reappearing with a few seconds looking even more pissed. Room isn't ready until 2. You'll have to get a drink or make yourself scarce. I muster a polite, albeit forced smile, turning to find a table, but I find myself faced with a striking, scowling woman who appears to be blocking me entirely on purpose. Woman!
So this is the famous hunter that's taking my place, then?
Oh! This is awkward then. I already didn't make a first impression. Shit.
You don't look like anything special to me. Come to gloat, have you? Rub it in my face.
Ma'am, I'm just here to get turned and go to bed. Nice to meet you. Do I know you? Nice to meet you? It's nice to meet you? I'm Yui. She looks taken aback, clearly not expecting me to be polite, and she quickly straightens up, her features softening, kind of. I know exactly who you are.
I'm Piper. Piper Merriman.
Nice to meet you. I'm the former general. I was leading this investigation until you came along. I had no idea. I just go where I'm ordered. You of all people must have known we don't have much of a choice. Her gaze drops to her hands as she picks a non-existent piece of lint on her trousers. Yes, well, I do know that, I suppose. Yeah, so you can't exactly blame me. It's the government's fault. So I've really been called here to take Piper Merriman's place? She's a legend, having racked up more kills than some of the most seasoned hunters, and all at the tender age of 24. Oh damn, she's my age. I feel terrible. I wasn't told I'd be replacing anyone, and her being upset suddenly seems pretty justified. I'd be devastated if I was demoted too. We worked so hard and put our lives on the line, all while the majority of the enforcers sit safely behind their desks. Ah, that's government for you, even in medieval times. Holding our fate in hands that aren't stained with blood while our fingers drip with it. Piper makes a vague gesture at the barmaid and she's swiftly handed a glass of warm amber liquid that she delicately cradles in her palm. She steps closer with narrowed eyes, surveying me in a way that almost reminded me of August. Oh, I didn't really see it with like her Sprite, but now that I see her right here, looks like she has vitiligo or vitiligo, I think it's pronounced. It's the skin thing where you can get like different colored like spots. Yeah, she has that. It looks like. Didn't even notice it. Pretty sure I won't be getting Employee of the Month anytime soon. I mean, considering I kind of backtalked August earlier, yeah, I'm pretty much on everybody's shit list. We could always work together. I'm getting the feeling I'll need the help. And I'm sorry, truly, I can't imagine how frustrating this must be for you. She continues to look annoyed, but I can tell a more vulnerable emotion lingers beneath this seemingly rock-hard exterior. She swirls the worm around, watching the gentle slosh of it as it coats the side of the glass.
Yes, well, that's what I get for being utterly shit at my job, isn't it?
Hey, no, I'm sure that's not true. I'm sure you're just, alright. She scoffs a lot, but the smile that curls at her ruby lips doesn't reach her eyes. Anyway, I'm sure I'll see you in the field. I'm not totally useless, apparently. No, I don't think you are. I mean, you got all that armor on and shit like that. So, yeah.
They just have me doing the awful jobs. The stuff that doesn't actually matter. What a waste of a perfectly amazing hunter.
Yeah, fuck the government, man, am I right? Enforcers, just a bunch of pencil-pushing wankers. Oh! She called them wankers! Also, you can tell this game is British if you couldn't tell by the accent.
Anyway, I can see I'm boring you. I'll just be over there, continuing to drown my sorrows until Willenheim summons me.
You're such an arsehole. Yeah, I can tell. I mean, I kind of gave him attitude earlier, but still. I huff a laugh, covering my mouth with my hand in an attempt to stifle the noise. She seems briefly amused by my reaction. She offers me a thoughtful glance and sighs loudly.
Don't take any shit from them, okay? Come and see me if they bother you. I'm not afraid to stick my boot up their backside. Again.
Oh, so you've done it before. So you pegged them. I see, I see. Anyway, I'll see you around. Bye, Queen. She doesn't wait for me to respond, and with a flick of long chestnut hair, she's gone. I spot her disappearing into the heavy crowd that's mulling about in the center of the tavern. A crowd that's apparently pretty pissed off about something. I decide to investigate. Might as well get stuck right in. What could possibly go wrong? Foreshadowing. I push my way into the crowd, and what I find both baffles and amuses me. A lichen, a hybrid lichen, sat smack bang in the middle of the tavern, arms folded across his chest. He has a smirk plastered across his scattered lips, his wolf ears twitching dismissively as the town folks hoot and holler at him. The lichen doesn't seem to care and grabs his drink, taking a deep swig. My first impression is that he seems perfectly harmless, even if his cockiness is almost a palpable aura. As I take a step closer, however, I can see the scar he bears. A seasoned scrapper, then, not shy in the least, and eager to stir up the ire of the authorities or other creatures, apparently. He spots me then, his scarlet eyes flashing, then he's kicking out the chair in front of him, gesturing for me to sit down. Either he's bold or he's got something to prove, and I find myself being watched by the eyes of every tavern goer. Oh, is he flirting with me? They're all waiting to see if I'm going to oblige the object of their disdain, and the tavern falls deathly silent. As I take a seat, the crowd slowly begins to disperse, though their eyes stay firmly fixed upon both myself and the lichen as they return to their respective seats.
They're lucky I kept my cool. Wouldn't you say, Hunter?
Oh, hello, handsome. Oh, hello. I wouldn't want to piss you off. You seem harmless. I do feel like being a little bit brat, so I'm gonna save here, and, you seem harmless. You seem harmless enough. I think I can handle you. His brows draw together into a deep scowl, but he still looks relatively relaxed, playful even.
You do you? Would you care to test that theory?
Right now? Ayo? On God? For real? Okay. One of his wolf ears twitches, and I can't help but smile at the loose threat. Maybe another time. How about you tell me your name and why you apparently have a death wish hanging around in a tavern full of humans who quite clearly aren't too fond of non-humans. He bristles, his tail wrapping around the leg of his chair as he places his now empty tankard upon the table. The noise draws a gasp from nearly every single patron, and glances over at Piper who sits in the corner, either oblivious or uncaring.
It's Alcar, and I don't have a death wish. Not today, anyway.
Alcar, nice. As much as I do like him and I do think he's handsome, one of the things that irks me when it comes to animal-eared characters, they still have their human ear. So he has like 2 sets of ears. Unless it's his like hair that like looks like animal ears, which I don't think it is. It's just one of my pet peeves, no pun intended. Like, I love animal-eared characters, obviously. I'm literally an animal-eared character. But if you're gonna design an animal-eared character, please at least get rid of their human ears. Like, it really irks me. Like, no one, like, notices unless you're, like, super attentive. And I'm just, bruh. I'm in so much pain. Only today? He smiles, folding his arms back across his chest.
You don't need to concern yourself with me, Hunter. I stay far away from your kind. From everyone. Mostly.
Okay, well, I don't know if I'll be able to stay away from you because, I like me some dog boys. I swear, I'm not horny or anything. I just like animal-eared characters, especially dog boys. And he's at the top of my list, I think, so far. I don't know. I like him. I like Ezra. I like Finn. I like a little bit of Piper, but not too much. It's just those 3 so far. I don't know. Maybe I'll make a poll later to decide, like, who I'm gonna be going for.
I do enjoy coming here to rile this lot up, though.
Sir, you can rile me up any day. Sorry, I like men a lot.
Unless they come looking for me, of course.
Well, what if I do want to look for you? What are you gonna do about it? He glances over his shoulder, catching Piper's gaze. She flips him off and he turns back to face me, his shoulders shaking with his laughter.
I'm sure you'll grow to despise me in time. Just like every other idiot in this hopeless town.
Nah, fam, I want you to take me. I swear, I'm usually not this degenerate. I'm not this degenerate usually, I promise. I just like Wolf Boy. I like Dog Boy. He stands and all the patrons stiffen. It's so quiet you could hear a pin drop, but Alcar merely rolls his pretty eyes and flashes me a sharp grin. He looms over me, close enough that I could smell the earthy, distinctly petrichor scent of him.
If my advice is worth anything to you, then trust me when I say to trust no one.
But I trust you, and I trust Ezra, and I trust Finn, maybe Piper, and not so much Augustus because he is part of the government, but still. I mean, they. He stares me down. Even you?
Especially me. Goodbye, Hunter.
Bye, sexy. I watch him leave, feeling everyone's gaze still fixed upon me. I compose myself and offer them a smile, as genuine as I can muster after such an odd encounter. I glance at the clock and it's only 10:30. I have some time to kill. The town is small, very small. It takes me less than an hour to walk it from end to end. On my travels, I find myself drawn to the cemetery, and the scent of blood is thick here. Ah, so there was recently a murder. Not only because this is the site of the last murder, I come across a patch of scorched grass. The earth around it is trampled by the boots of enforcers and hunters alike. The remnants of a crumbled gravestone are littered across, around the perfect black outline of a body. And I take a deep breath, crouching down to skim my fingers along the edges. I close my eyes and try to picture it, what happened to them, but it's hard to truly see knowing how stark the darkness is here. It's a blur, a mere memory, but I feel terror. They were so scared, utterly alone in their final moments. But something sticks out to me all over that fear. I'm sorry. I love you. The words hit me hard, my chest aching, and I feel an intense longing. I feel love, the powerful and unconditional kind that snatches the air from your lungs. I take a deep breath and force myself to stand, trying to shake the feeling. I'll find out who killed you. I'm startled by the sudden sound of heavy footsteps, my hand hovering over my weapon. I look around frantically, on guard and ready, and then a striking figure appears. Demon? He's clad in fine clothing, his long hair tied in a neat ponytail, the crown of his head adorned with delicate jewelry. And I should be unsettled, the pointed teeth and sharp claws indicating he's definitely not human, but he's smiling. Oh, he's got those bottom tusks! I think he might be a demon or something. Then the flicker of a spade-tipped tail tells me all I need to know. I'm staring at a glamored demon, though I'm finding it hard to be alarmed by his presence, which seems to be a theme here in Lunaris. His eyes are a warm chestnut brown, and they sparkle in the dappled sunlight as he gazes at me in wonder.
Hello, Hunter. I've been looking forward to meeting you.
You know me? You have? Don't move. I don't want to threaten him, so... You have? You've been expecting me? I watch as his cheeks darken, his gaze dropping to the grass.
Well, people talk and I listen. And they've done a lot of talking about you. I hope I didn't scare you.
Oh, he's kind of baby. You didn't. It's okay.
You're sure? I've gotten used to startling people.
Oh, he baby! He just wants friends. He's baby. I promise you that I've seen scarier. He laughs, his tail flicking. Aww. Oh, I'm certain you have. His aura is calm, if not a little skittish, and I said he's probably more scared of me than I am of him. He's still hard to read, though, and that's frustrating, but not necessarily alarming. What's your name? The demon exhales sharply, apparently relieved that I'm making conversation rather than drawing my weapon.
It's Omen.
Omen. It's Nemo spelled backwards! You've got to be kidding me. What kind of Omen? Introduce yourself. I'm gonna save here. And I'm gonna introduce myself, because if I say what kind of Omen, he's probably gonna think that I see him as a threat. And I don't really see him as a threat, so... A demon called Omen. Well, that's reassuring. Clearly his sire has a good sense of humor. I'm Yui. So how was your first day in Lunaris been? I have a quiet laugh, yet again perplexed by the wonderfully weird inhabitants of this town. He's certainly the most polite demon I've ever met. I guess it's been fine. I'm just a little overwhelmed. It's a strange town, isn't it? Omen laughs, the sound musical and almost infectious, causing my own smile to widen.
You're being polite. It's more than strange. It's a mess. A mess I and many others hope you can fix.
I grimace, my gaze drifting back to the place where the last murder victim lay. I sigh and muster as much confidence as I possibly can. I can do this. I can solve these murders. So, absolutely no pressure then. Omen shrugs playfully.
No pressure at all. Welcome to Lunaris.
Thank you. Oh, well, that was short. Make it to the enforcement headquarters with time to spare after August's thinly veiled threat about tardiness yesterday. I had a terrible night's sleep on scratchy sheets, but I couldn't possibly feel less ready to face my less than friendly superior. I raised my fist to knock on the door, but the muffled conversation that I hear coming from inside has me hesitating. It sounds heated, and I glance at the clock on the wall behind me to check the time. I have 1 minute before I'm sure General Willenheim will admonish me for being late. So, I take a deep breath and I knock. The voices suddenly stop, and I hear a clack of heels, and then... Yes? Oh, it's you. They quickly glance at the clock.
Well, you're on time, at least. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know it's terribly cozy out there, but please come in.
I nod politely and quickly step into the enforcer's office. It's beautifully decorated with neatly arranged bookcases, lining the walls that are laden with a collection of trinkets and tomes that possibly rival Ezra's. There's a huge desk in the middle that overflows with reports and letters, and a half-empty ink pot and elegant sapphire quill poised and ready. Then, as if I'm experiencing a rather vivid case of deja vu, Piper appears before me looking decidedly less impressed than she did in the tavern yesterday.
Hunter.
Nice to see you again. Look at August. Nice to see you again. Hello, Piper. It's nice to see you. She stares at me, her eyes narrowed as her gaze flickers to August, who stands quietly just behind me. Her hands are clasped behind her back, a dark eyebrow quirked almost expectantly. Piper frowns at them, her nose crinkling before she swiftly turns her attention back to me. Yes, you too. I offer her a smile, but the one she offers in return doesn't quite meet her eyes. I appreciate the offer nevertheless. Okay, it glitched again. That's awkward. So you two have met already, In the tavern again, were you, Piper? August sighs heavily when we both fail to respond, and Piper manages to look anywhere but her superior. Anyway, they run their hand along the edge of their desk, inspecting their perfectly dust-free fingertip as Piper huffs in their general direction.
I know you have very important business to attend to, but I'm not finished with you yet, Willenheim.
Ooh, she fighting. Is that so?
I've given you your mission, you've complained about it loudly. So, pray tell, Major, what else could there possibly be?
Piper flinches, and I see her demeanor shift, her admirable determination withering and dying as that word rolls off August's tongue, a harsh reminder of her demotion, and one that clearly stings. I wonder if I'll ever get the chance to ask her about it, to finally know exactly what she did that warranted her being made such an example of.
Nice, August. Really nice.
Wow. You could quite literally cut the tension here with the dull-bladed dagger. Do you think maybe we could continue this argument later? I'm literally just standing here, dude. We have a meeting, General? August sighs, glancing at Piper almost guiltily. The sorry expression fades the second as she meets their gaze. Yes, we do. Is that everything for today, Merriman? Is it ever... I wasn't asking... They take a deep breath, pinching the bridge of their nose between forefinger and thumb. You're dismissed for today, Merriman. They stare each other down, and I wonder how the hell they ever managed to become one of the most successful elimination teams in all of Escria. I've heard countless weird and wonderful stories of their partnership, of Piper's unparalleled strength and August's unmatched intelligence. But here, now, all I see is the spirited hunter and an imposingly tired enforcer. Harry is on his way. I suggest you depart quickly.
Shit.
She blanches at that, and I can almost see her admitting defeat. Her shoulders relax, and the furrow in her brows fade.
Fine. I'll go and look for your possibly a small chimera, but probably a big fucking cat.
Gatito?
One day you'll have to stop punishing me, you know.
Piper grabs a set of expensive-looking daggers from the chair in front of the desk, strapping them to her back with haste. She pauses in front of me, and those dark eyes soften as she meets my gaze.
See you around, Hunter. Enjoy your important meeting, and remember what I said. Foot. Ass.
Right, pegging, gotcha. She chances another glance at August, and they suddenly become very interested in studying their perfectly manicured nails. With a wink, she then fully spins to face August, squaring up to them playfully. The enforcer towers above her, still uncaring, still unbothered. Twat. Oh! That's a bad word in British times. And with that, she turns on her heel and slams the door so hard it shakes in its frames. August walks around the back of their desk, practically falling into the well-used leather chair. Oh, hello, handsome. I scan the piles upon piles of paper that litter the surface, taking in the countless reports and letters, scribbled diagrams, and gruesome drawings. I get the impression August is in over their head. The disorder of all this information makes my fingers twitch. They watch me carefully, stifling a yawn with a trembling hand. I know, trust me, I know. As much as I hate to admit it, we've got nothing. As of right now, I suspect everyone in this town, as should you. Though I may not really know them just yet, I sense that this kind of vulnerability I'm seeing is rare. August doesn't strike me as the type to admit defeat so easily, and something more serious than the usual stress of the job seems to be lingering under the surface. After what I witnessed back in Ezra's shop, I can't help but wonder what they were like before all this. The way the young witch looked at them. It was pity. Ezra pitied August. August huffs a quiet laugh and then relaxes back in their chair, and for the first time since we met, they seem to let their guard down.
I don't know why Harry decided you were the right person for this job above all others, but I trust him implicitly. So, whatever plan he has for you, we had better make it work.
Thank you, I think? They pause, staring me down with those ice blue eyes. Now, are you ready to begin? I think I am. Yes, let's start. Always general. Oh, I'm guessing the hearts mean love? Like, that's how I get them to love me? So, I'm just gonna say I think I am, because I don't want them to love me, because I'm not really interested in them. I think I am. Quirk and I were out then, taken back by this implication of such a loaded question. It's all new and, of course, jarring, but I think so. The look they gave me is nothing short of incredulous and incredulous. I can't fucking read! You think They pinched the bridge of their nose again.
Well, at least one of us is confident. Ish. It might be a good idea to be a little more enthused in front of the Lieutenant General, Hunter.
Gotcha. Whatever. I hear footsteps in the hallway, and August quickly rises to their feet. They straighten their clothing and tie their sash a little tighter. I follow their lead and move to stand by their side, my heart hammering triple time in my chest as those footprints draw nearer. There's a distinct clang of metal, of armor, and heavy boots. Then the door swings open, and an imposing figure enters the room. His gaze flickers between myself and August, his expression stern and almost emotionless. Wow, he totally doesn't look like a villain whatsoever. I mean, he at least looks homophobic, but still. I've heard many tales about Harold Addington III as he stands before me. I feel a certain sense of pride that he would choose to summon me to deal with such a vital case. He's adorned in the standard enforcer colors of black and gold, but his outfit is far more regal than any of the other higher-ranking officials I've seen. A wide smile breaks out across his scarred lips, and he pulls August into a tight embrace, a deep, comforting chuckle rumbling in his chest.
Old friend, how the devil are you? It's been a while. Too long, I say.
Oh, he certainly sounds evil. He pulls away, still firmly holding onto August's shoulders. You look exhausted. Have you not been sleeping? August offers him a wry smile as Harry drops his hands. I'm trying to sleep. Does that count? Harry throws them a look, something stern but edged with a certain fondness, one that a father might give to their child.
Look after yourself, Augustus.
August nods once, still smiling as Harry turns to stand before me.
Hunter, it's such a pleasure to meet you. I can finally put a face to all those impressive reports I've read.
Yeah, I know you're a villain and I don't really trust you, but as you know, I'm kind of a big deal, so thank you. He offers me his hand and I eagerly take it. It's a pleasure to meet you too, Lieutenant General Addington, sir. He smiles warmly, keeping his grip on my hand, his other holding my forearm.
Harry is fine. None of that formal nonsense. If we're going to be working together for the foreseeable future, we might as well get familiar. Wouldn't you agree?
I still don't trust you, but okay. Of course, Harry. That's when I feel incredibly relaxed in his presence. Now let's get to business, shall we? August hands him a standard issue file sealed with wax bearing the Scarlet Enforcer emblem. He watched me carefully as Harry breaks the seal, a heavy sigh falling from his lips. As he quickly scans the report, he closes his eyes, handing the paper back to August before he turns his back to us both. A silent moment passes, and Harry rounds his shoulders, clicking his neck before he faces us.
You know, I've worked for the Enforcers for nearly 30 years, and I've never felt quite so useless. We've lost some of our best, our brightest, kindest.
Oh damn, so you're at least like 50. I mean, you look like you're at least 40 to me, but still. Harry pauses, the waver in his voice evident as he composed himself.
I am truly at a loss, and I'm finding it hard to remove my emotions from the equation when it's my own people being needlessly slaughtered.
That you're probably causing because you look like a villain. Just saying. August averts their gaze, stealing a quick glance at me, seemingly sussing my reaction. Sus? You say sus? Like Among Us? Among Us sus? Big Chungus Among Us? I am so sorry. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me.
Nothing can bring them back, but we can bring those responsible to justice.
Suddenly it hits me. The victims were hunters, weren't they?
Yes, they were hunters. Just like you.
Oh! Well, that doesn't paint a target on my back whatsoever. Harry huffs a quiet laugh, clearing his throat.
I know we're putting a great deal of responsibility on your shoulders, but I have never-ending faith that you're the one who can help end this madness. Do you have any questions?
Ask about the victims. Are there any patterns? Are there any patterns? Other than the timing of the murders, are there any other patterns I should be aware of? Harry's mouth twists into a grimace and he shakes his head. I hope you don't think ill of me, but I'd rather not tell you at this point. He and August share a look, and August seems perplexed by this statement. Harry. Harry places his hand upon August's shoulder, a reassuring touch, a smile, then he's looking back at me. Please just trust me, both of you. Well, that's not suspicious at all. Not like you're totally hiding something because you know you're the villain. I want you to go out there and see things with your own eyes. Utilize your abilities. Then we can discuss what we've already discovered. This is a complex case with many intricacies, but I think it's important that you don't let our opinions cloud your judgment. As terrifying and as baffling as this may seem, I see where Harry is coming from. I don't want to be influenced by an investigation that's so obviously failing. Ask about the victims. How many victims do we have so far? August looks at Harry for guidance, and Harry nods his permission.
4, but we anticipate more. The victim has shown up every 7 days for the past month.
Oof, that's rough.
Yes, with the most recent being 6 days ago, which is when I called for you. Enough is enough.
We're due a body, if our calculations are correct.
Harry clears his throat, twists the gold band on his finger.
I'd like you to concentrate on the latest victim for now. Male, 46 years of age, a general. He was one of our best. We owe him this.
I take a deep breath before I ask my next question, feeling immensely guilty before it even falls from my lips. Were all of them burned? I saw the ash in the charred ground. Each body has been burned very badly, yes, to the point where we cannot determine what wounds they sustained beforehand. Not even with magic? He shakes his head, exchanging a look with August, one I can't quite place. Not even with magic. So, where would you like me to start? I almost expect them to tell me to figure it out myself, but Harry surprises me. Well, the most obvious of places would be the Ibex. The what?
A curious pair are the Woodridge twins. They've taken up residence in the old church in the middle of town. I'm sure you've seen it.
I gotta go to a church? Dude, if I step foot in a church, I'm gonna be burned to a crisp. I can't go to church. I saw it alright. Big, imposing, and very obviously dilapidated. Yes, I did notice it. It's quite hard to miss, but I assumed it was empty with it being in such a state of disrepair. We can only dream that it becomes vacant, unfortunately. August clenches their fists, the faintest flicker of magic shimmering in their palm.
They're a plague upon this town, spouting their drivel and preaching to the dumb and ignorant. They're idiots.
Oh god, we're gonna have to deal with the religious type. Great. Augustus. August takes a deep breath, their magic just dissipating.
Right. Sorry. Well, I'm not fond of them, if you couldn't already tell.
No, I thought you fucking loved them and that you're in a polyamorous relationship with them. Harry and I share a glance, and he smiles warmly, winking at me.
Oh, I think we got the picture.
No, I obviously could not tell. Can you please continue?
Now, as I said, I suggest you start with them. Just see what you make of them. You might need to play along with the woman. She tends to favor playing games. Anything to baffle you.
Have they already been questioned? Are they dangerous? Are they human? Harry shrugs, and Augustus' annoyance at him being so unbothered is obvious.
Yes, they're human, and yes, they've been questioned. Hunter Merriman saw to that, but she and the woman have a rather tumultuous relationship.
You mean they fucked? They're all by his style. They have a guard, a human who has connections to Clan Kazimar. She has no reason to support the Ibex other than just doing her job. I'd still be interested to hear what you think of her, though.
So, in theory, they're harmless. but they do have the people's ear for some bizarre reason.
Because religion is overpowering, even in medieval times.
They prey on fear, and the town is infected with that right now. Be cautious of them. They certainly won't take kindly to you.
Dude, what you're describing is just religion in a nutshell, come on.
Oh, I think the General can handle them just fine. Have some faith, August.
Okay, let me, preface real quick. If you believe in, a religion, that's fine. Just don't overly preach it, like what Christians do. I don't know if y'all, remember this or, saw it happen, but I remember a while back, a couple weeks ago, I don't know if y'all know Jaden Animations. She, quote-unquote, got canceled a little bit ago because she made jokes against, God and Jesus. Even though she was on a podcast with Jay Schlatt, one of the most cancelable, but obviously not cancelable enough, entertainers there is. And I would know that because I like Jay Schlatt. The fact that people, tried to cancel her for talking shit about, God and Jesus, and not that, she's friends with Jay Schlatt really says a lot. Obviously she didn't get canceled because what she said was fucking based and hilarious. And she is right, because God and Jesus are little bitches. But, yeah, it's stupid. Christians will do anything to, feel oppressed, and it's stupid. My god. Read a book. Seek actual Jesus, literally. Stop with the Bible thumping. August waves their hand dismissively, wandering over a filing cabinet that's nestled in a far corner while smothering under their breath. A warm hand touches my arm. We trust you, Yui.
Now, once you've spoken to them, I suggest just going where your gut tells you. There are plenty of other Lunarians for you to get to know, so just take today to really find your feet.
Ah, so I'm guessing that's where I can, choose who I want to try and date?
I must meet with August and some of the other generals now, but please report back to us in the morning. Unless you find any damning evidence, of course, in which case, report back immediately.
I nod, glancing over at my superior who has taken it upon himself to dive headfirst into yet another pile of paperwork. Trust no one, right?
Not a bloody soul. Suspect everyone. Question everything.
I mean, I suspect you, if that counts. I closed the door behind me, leaving August and Harry with their discussion. I feel a bit overwhelmed, but ready to finally start my investigation and to hopefully end all this chaos. I take a deep breath and straighten my clothes, feeling ruffled from both that initial heated encounter and a brief but semi-informative conversation with the Lieutenant General. As I turn to leave, I spot Piper leaning against the wall. She looks stoic, her gaze fixed on the floor, but she perks up when she spots me approaching. Hey, Queen. Oi, Yui, I can call you that, can't I? She makes a quiet, frustrated noise and closes her eyes. She shakes her head, exhaling sharply before she meets my gaze. Listen, I'm sorry you had to witness that exchange. I couldn't bring myself to leave without apologizing for my behavior both today and in the tavern the other day.
It's been a rough few weeks, and I often let my passion overrule any rational thoughts that I promise I am capable of having. It's unbecoming of me.
I'm taken aback by the vulnerability of her words. This isn't the Piper I thought I'd have become accustomed to. Nah, Queen, you're fine. Understandable. I'd put a boot up his arse, too. Their arse. Piper, She raised her hand to halt my words, calloused fingers curling into a fist.
Please, just let me apologize, all right? Then we can pretend I never acted like a complete asshole, and you can go and do your job.
Nah, you were justified, Queen. They were being the arsehole. So... She sticks out her hand, her dagger clanging noisily where they rest in the holster at her back.
The name's Piper Merriman.
She rolls her eyes, taking a deep breath before her next sentence.
Major Piper Merriman.
She throws me a wicked grin, and I can't help but laugh. You're allowed to be upset. The pleasure is mine. I don't want to date her, so I'm going to save here. So I'm just going to say you're allowed to be upset. Place my hand on top of hers, carefully lowering it to her side. You really don't have to apologize, Piper. I know how hard this must be for you. She clears her throat, her grin morphing into a wry smile. Yes, well, still no reason to be a twat to you. It's not your fault, Her smile widens, her eyes sparkling, and I sense that she's up to no good. Was it, Yui? Did you plan all this just so you'd become to get over here to meet me, the infamous Hunter Merriman? I huff a laugh and shake my head quicker than it is probably necessary. Don't let your head grow too much. You won't fit through the doors. She studies August's office doors with twisted lips. She makes a disgusted noise, her nose crinkling.
Ugh, and be stuck here with Willenheim. Perish the thought.
Piper glanced at the clock before turning back to me with a roll of her eyes.
Ugh, I better get going. I have an inevitably worthless mission to get on with.
Yeah, you gotta find a cat, right?
People in this town are adept at mistaking common house cats for ghastly creatures. Must be something in the water.
Watch it, like, actually be a chimera. That'd be hilarious. I should go, too. Yes, of course. Now off you go. Save Lunaris and all of that. I'll see you around, Yui. She turns on her heel and heads for the exit, pulling her chestnut hair up into a messy bun as she goes. I gather my wits, checking my supplies and weapons, adjusting my armor. It's time to begin. It's a strangely beautiful day in Lunaris. Regardless of the biting cold, the sky is clear, and the cobble streets are abuzz with the smiling faces of townsfolk strolling to the local market with empty baskets and full pockets. There's certainly a different vibe to the last time I walked in the street. No panic, no haste. As I draw nearer to the center of town, I see that imposing white building. Scarlet flags sway in the wind of the roof, but as I look closer, I can see that they're tattered and dirtied. The twins may very well be human, but the way my stomach drops and twists as I approach the weathered wooden door tells me I might be shocked by what I'll find inside. Ah! I'm on fire! It burns! It burns! I push open the heavy doors, and the sight that I'm met with snatches the breath from my lungs. This place is huge. Its domed ceiling was seemingly once decorated with an intricate painting. The layers have cracked and peeled over time, and nothing more than remnants of what looked like a starry night sky cling to it. Furniture is caked with a thick layer of dust, and the pews are in disarray and covered with strange etchings that look like they've been carved into the cheap wood with a blunt nail. There's a lot to take in, but I'm not here to scour this room for evidence. I'm here to talk to its inhabitants. The dread that's now firmly seated in the pit of my stomach turns violently, but it's something old, something that lingers. I anticipate that I might find a lot more than I'm bargaining for if I truly desire, but I need to focus. I need to find the Woodridge twins. As if by magic, two pairs of startlingly bright blue eyes emerge from the shadows near the destroyed pulpit. Hello, Hunter. We were expecting you. To say that they're unusual would be an understatement, and they're not at all what I expected. I mean, they are kind of cute, not gonna lie. Mostly the dude, but still. They are kind of hot. Question immediately starts slow. I think it might be best to start slow, so, I'll start slow. I offer her a friendly smile. However forced it may be. War travels, in Lunaris. I'm Hunter Nyampasu. She narrows her eyes at me, suspicious for the briefest of moments before she's smiling unnervingly again. Despite her best effort at apparently trying to be cute, it's still terrifying. I'm Aurora, and this is my dear brother, Armaros. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Hunter Nyampasu. I nod politely, not quite sure which of them I should be focusing my attention on. Armaros doesn't appear to enjoy talking, or maybe he's simply not permitted to. His overbearing sister is clearly the leader of the two. Armaros seems uneasy and far less abrasive than his sister, and as I turn my attention to him, his eyes widen almost comically. He resembles a startled forest animal. Armaros, can you tell me a little bit about the church and what you do here? His mouth twists into a dissatisfied snarl, but as he begins to speak, Aurora swiftly interrupts him. Armaros, we haven't even offered our visitor a drink. Such a terrible first impression we must have given you, Hunter Nyampasu. Armaros sighs loudly, giving up without a fight. I'm fine, thank you. I'd really like to ask you a few things so I can be on my way. What is the IBEC? What do you two know about the murders? What is the IBEC? I clear my throat, trying not to be distracted by their unnatural stillness. Can you explain to me what you do and why? They share a look, and Armaros nods under his sister's ice-cold gaze. Our purpose is simple. We spread the word of the night, of those that are oppressed and murdered in cold blood. And who exactly are the oppressed? She giggles, the sound musical, but edging on maniacal. The creatures, of course. I look at Armaros, and he drops his gaze, color sweeping across his pale cheeks. Is my answer not satisfying, Hunter Nyampasu? Surely you know that the institution that you serve brings harm to innocence. That the creatures that you kill are nothing more than confused and lost, merely looking for salvation. I pause carefully, contemplating my response. My adult life has consisted of seeing bloodthirsty creatures trying to mindlessly murder innocent people, and in turn trying to kill me as I protect them. I see no desire for salvation in that. I appreciate that there are creatures who don't intend to harm anyone, even some that are kinder than most humans. But, I smile again and take a deep breath. But I cannot bring myself to understand how you can be so blindly support the slaughter of your own people. Ooh. Morris frowns deeply, and I swear I see him shaking his head at me, but it's just subtle enough for his sister not to notice. Because humans are inferior and pathetic. You're literally a human! Or are you just, like, secretly a demon? We infest and corrupt the earth by dedicating our time and resources to ridding it of the only things that give our wretched species any hope. So you are a human. You just hate yourselves. Gotcha. She inhales sharply, calming herself and brushing her hands over the front of her skirt. So, Hunter Neon Pasta, to answer your question, we're here to protect the creatures, just as you are here to destroy them. What do you know about the murders? I'm sure you're very aware of the recent murders in the area. Can you tell me anything that may be of use to my investigation? Aurora steals her gaze, unblinking, her fingers clasped tightly in front of her. We saw nothing, and we have an alibi. I look at Armaro, startled that he actually spoke. His voice is strangely soft and comforting. Regardless, his words sound practiced and rehearsed. He looks nervous, like he'd rather be anywhere else but here, and his eyes keep darting to the door behind me. Nothing at all? You're stationed right beside the graveyard where the last hunter's body was discovered. You're telling me you didn't hear a thing. He was brutally murdered, set alit, and burnt to ash, and yet he didn't scream or call for help? Suspicious. Very suspicious. My brother speaks the truth, Hunter Nyampasu. Question us all you like, but we've been through this with your insufferable predecessor. Just like Harry said, they apparently have an ironclad alibi, but my suspicion does not waver. I nod once, noticing Armaros' gaze burning into me. Though I cannot gauge how he's feeling, my gut tells me he has something to say. Something he wouldn't dare with his sister by his side. Like he's scared. I'm starting to feel like Harry sent me here just to unnerve me. Surely he knew this is what I would be faced with. I still have little to nothing to work here, and as the twins continue to stare me down, I think about his parting words. Suspect everyone, question everything. You truly have nothing else to say regarding the situation. Aurora stands firm, her lips curling into that wolfish grin once more. Nothing. It was ever so wonderful to make your acquaintance, though. Truly. Do stop by again. Our doors are open to everyone. We're more than happy to accommodate you, should your agency need to question us for a third time. Armoris gave me a look again, and I wonder if it would be possible to somehow get him alone. I have a feeling I'd get a lot more out of him than I have from her. Thank you, Aurora, Armaros. On my way out, I see a small, neatly wrapped package sitting on the doorstep. I bend down to check the label, and written on it, in an elegant script, are the words, Zeshewa, and Armaros' name paired with a small heart. I may not know what it means, but I know a demonic language when I see one. Just as I suspected, there might be a lot more to Amaros Woodridge than meets the eye. Okay, so I mostly suspect him. Gotcha. I walk through the center of town for a while, getting to know the buildings and watching the people that pass me by. Lunaris turns into a quiet, nervous town when the sun begins to set, and I wonder if it's only recently lost its warmth. I consider heading for the graveyard, something tugging at me and telling me that there's more for me there to find, but... Hello, Alcard! Hello, Daddy! Alcard suddenly appears from between the crooked houses, sending two children that were playing in the street scattering.
What the hell have you been doing in that damned church? Are you feeding into their bullshit already?
No, I'm just questioning them. He pauses, huffing his sharp breath through his nose.
I thought you'd be different. Just like everyone said you would be. How stupid of me to want to believe them.
No, I don't want to listen to them. I was just questioning them. It certainly isn't the first time I've been caught off guard by an angry lichen, but safe to say that I don't need to fear for my life here. Maybe. He does look pretty pissed. It's not what you think, Alcar. I was just questioning them. He scoffed, rolling his eyes. His hands are shaking, but he balls them into fists when he catches me looking. Is that so? And why should I believe you? I don't even know you. No, you don't, which is why you should consider giving me the benefit of the doubt. I'm just trying to do my job. Do you suggest I just ignore the various obvious cult in the middle of town? I mean, I do make a good point there, not gonna lie. His wolf ears flicker back and forth, and he unclenches his fists. You were just questioning them? I nod. Yes, I was hardly agreeing with them in their hatred for, well, me. He rolls his eyes at me, standing his ground. Something has me curious, and I can't resist asking. They want to protect you from the likes of me, so why do you despise them so much?
Because they couldn't care less about those of us that don't enjoy killing humans mindlessly. Because we're not real creatures if we stay out of trouble and befriend humans or each other.
Ah, so they're hypocrites. I see, I see. Just like real-life religion. So if you dare to act even remotely human, you're the enemy too? He smirks, brows raised.
Aha. Now you're getting it.
Alcar is apparently defensive to a fault, but I sense that under the surface he's probably just scared, maybe even a little lonely. It must be hard to be feared like that when you've done nothing wrong. At least I don't think he has. He is kind of a bastard. Do you have friends here? Were you following me? I'm gonna save here just in case. Were you following me? Alcar, were you following me? He bristles, frowning deeply. Don't flatter yourself. I can just smell the twins a mile away.
I just like to keep an eye on things. Especially them. And especially strange new hunters who appear out of nowhere. Then proceed to hang out with those creeps.
I told you, I was just questioning them. I don't like them at all. Well, cross my heart and hope to die, my visit was innocent.
I would be careful making that statement here. Someone might take you up on it.
And I'm guessing that might be you, but then again, you're all bark and no bite. Get it? I'm funny. So I just happened to conveniently be hiding in an alley to jump out on me then. Interesting. Very interesting. Something like that, yeah. A moment passes, and Alcar relentlessly shifts from one foot to the other. Doesn't seem incredibly satisfied with my answer about questioning the twins, but I can't really do much more to convince him, nor do I care to right now. So where are you heading now? Do you live nearby? He narrows his eyes at me, clearly contemplating if he wants to divulge such information. Why? Oh! Oh shit, it's dating time. Okay, I'm not sure if I want to go with him, Finn, Ezra, or Omen. So I'm gonna run a poll for us to decide who I'm gonna be dating. Alright, I got one vote for Ezra. Do I have any other votes? And I got a vote for Alcar. Alright, it's a tie between Ezra and Alcar. So I'm gonna do a coin flip. Alright, heads will do Ezra, tails will do Alcar. So tails. Alcar it is. I'd like to get to know you. Can't I just try to get to know you a little better? And why would you want to do that? I offer him a smile as I shake my head, and incredulous that he so obviously suspects the worst from everyone. I can't fucking read, and I'm sorry about that. I am very gay. Well, I'm bi, but still, pretty half gay at least. Because I think there's more to you than meets the eye. Am I now allowed to be curious? He narrows those vivid scarlet eyes, meeting my gaze and holding it. I suppose you are. He continues to stare me down, taking a tentative step closer.
So, if I did let you get to know me a little better, what then?
We'd fuck. Well, for starters, I'd buy you some shoes. Ooh. He smirks, his scarred lip curling at the corner. He looks handsome when he smiles, a little softer. So I'll be a sugar mom. Sugar parent. Provider. I'll be his provider, basically. Yes, that's it. Chat, please don't clip that. How thoughtful of you, but you wouldn't be the first to try. No? He shakes his head, wiggling his bare toes against the cobblestones. Man, don't show those grippers, man. I'm gonna get banned on Twitch. I run faster without them. And who exactly are you running from? If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Joke's on you, I want that. We share a quiet laugh, something passing between us. It's warm, and I feel like I'm finally getting to experience the real Alcar for the first time. Or at least I hope. Funny.
I'm a funny guy.
I sure hope so, because one of the most sexiest things to me is humor. He glances up at the sky, muttering something under his breath before he sets his gaze upon me once again.
It's getting dark, and there's a cold drink with my name on it at the Wolf. As much as I'd love to stay standing in the middle of the street talking to Lunaris' new favorite person, I'd better dash.
Hey yo, at least buy me a drink, Jesus! Dog! Tail! Tail! He turns as if he's about to leave, but he pauses, pointing at the Ibex. The building looms over town. It appears even more unsettling now I know who resides there.
Stay away from them. You might think you're safe because they're human, but words can do just as much harm as knives or claws in this town.
It's true. Rumors are a bitch and a half. I get the horrible feeling that he's right, and that maybe I should have pushed harder with them. I should be asking him about the murders too, but Harry told me to trust my instincts, and right now something is pulling me towards that graveyard, not towards the scrappy, sarcastic wolf. I'll be careful. See to it that you are, Hunter. This town might fucking implode if it has to deal with much more. Yeah, you're literally at, like, death's doorstep right now. He makes a dismissive noise scowling at me, but he's unable to mask his obvious worry for my well-being. Not that I care. Ah, he's a tsundere. Gotcha. Anyway, I'll see you around. Bye, sexy. He offers me a half-arsed wave, paired with a decidedly mischievous grin. Then Alcar slinks back into the alley from whence he came. Back at the graveyard. Ooh, it's pretty at night. The graveyard looks so different at night. Beautiful, even. Fog twists and curls around my ankles as I walk, glimmering specks of vivid blue light sparkling in its haze. Thankfully, the darkness is a little more forgiving this evening, and something seems to be guiding me along with leading me right to the place where the murder happened. I'm hoping that I might be able to get a clear idea of what transpired here that night, now that I know who he was or what he was. I follow the path and see a dark figure crouching before the neat line of gravestones. There's no danger here, not that I can feel, but I approach with caution anyway. As I draw nearer, I recognize him. It's Finn! I'm no fool, and I know he senses me here, but he doesn't flinch, keeping his gaze fixed on the dark forest that surrounds us. Oh, I did not expect to talk to Finn here, not gonna lie. Give him space, no warm welcome this time. I'm gonna save here just in case. No warm welcome this time? I clear my throat, quirking my brows. He stands and turns to face me, effortlessly graceful. There are no walls for you to pin me against out here. How will you cope? Sheesh, not me with the riz. His golden eyes shine in the darkness, and he offers me a sheepish glance.
When good people are getting brutally murdered, my instincts tend to get the better of me. But I apologize again. I'll do anything you require for you to feel comfortable around me.
Okay, on second thought, you don't need to use the riz on me. I'm kind of attached to the Wolf Boy now, but I wouldn't mind being in a polyamorous relationship, just saying. No mind reading? He shakes his head quickly.
No mind reading, unless you ask, of course. Or unless you have any particularly loud thoughts. Then I'm afraid there's not much I can do to help it.
He just, like, goes into my mind and all he hears is fucking penis music. I'm just imagining, like, he's, like, staring me deep into my eyes. Like, hand against the wall, like, pinning me, like, doing, like, the whole Cabadon thing. He stares into my eyes, like sees into my mind, and all he hears is... I'm sorry, the intrusive thoughts keep hitting today. A smirk hooks the corner of his mouth, and he offers me his iron hand, switching to his flesh one when I throw him a curious look.
Both are just as cold as the other, unfortunately.
Tris? I shrug hardly and shiver as his cold skin meets my warm, his handshake firm. Tris. I really need to have a look around. I sensed something near where the body was found the night after I arrived. He pauses, looking as though he's trying to decide if he should say what he's thinking.
There's definitely a strange energy here. Stranger than usual, anyway. But I can help you, if you wish. I mean, if you wanted an immortal opinion.
How exactly can you help me? He has a quiet laugh and folds his arms across his chest.
Would an excellent sense of smell, and the ability to see things your human eyes cannot, be of use?
That could be useful, not gonna lie. I feign disinterest, a playful roll of my eyes as he awaits my response. I suppose I shouldn't dismiss any hell, but how do I know that you're not the thing committing these horrible crimes? I've been told to trust no one more times than I can count, so tell me, Finn, why should I trust you? He offers me a wry smile, but sadness lingers in his gaze.
Freedom.
Freedom? He nods again, taking another deep, unnecessary breath.
I've been trying to become a better man since the day I died. My sire was a cruel man, a tyrant. Being around that for centuries does something to you.
Oh, so he wasn't, like, born a vampire. He was turned. I see. Where's your sire now? He swallows thickly, rubbing the back of his neck. It's almost a nervous gesture, and the first time I've seen him do anything that looked remotely human for gracelessness. Dead. Killed by your Lieutenant General. I owe Harry my life. He freed me from Levi's shackles. He pauses, head tilted towards the night sky as he closes his eyes. A smile crosses his lips, something wicked.
I've done terrible things in my time, and I intend to pay penance for those for the rest of my days. Which, if you hadn't heard, is forever.
There are so many things I long to ask him. He's seen so much, done so much. And, I assume, lost so much.
So, to answer your question, I value doing the right thing above all else. Even if sometimes I tend to stumble a little. Metaphorically, of course.
I offer him a wry smile, watching him watch me. Oh, I'm gonna save, just in case. I appreciate the help. I think I need all the help I can get, so thank you, Finn. I take a deep breath, exhaling sharply. So where the hell do we begin? He quirks a dark brow at me, fangs shining when he speaks. You're the expert, shouldn't you be telling me? I brush past him, returning his smile as I head for the site of the murder. Don't push your luck, vampire. He laughs a quiet chuckle, and he dutifully follows me. We stop at the charred patch of grass, and Finn bends to pick up one of the bloodied shards of the shattered gravestone. He brings it to his nose, glancing at me before he gives it a tentative sniff. He crinkles his nose, apparently repulsed by whatever scent he's picked up. He hands me the stone, wiping his hands off on his trousers. Imagine if it's like, he's like smells it, like he just takes it and he smells it like, and he's like, ew, virgin. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I keep sniffing into the mic. It's just so fucking hilarious. I'm probably under the impression that loud equals funny, and sometimes it is, but not when I do it, so I don't know why I keep doing it.
I suggest you keep that. That's not something I've experienced before, and I've smelled a lot of different things in my time. It seems off. If it's from a creature, it's certainly not one I've come across in my 600 years.
Oh? I see. Interesting. Watch it be like human. I throw him an accusatory glance before I turn my attention back to what he's handed me. I put it in my pocket for safekeeping, confused about why such a thing was left uncollected. You can't pick up anything familiar at all, which must mean it isn't the victim's blood. He shakes his head. Definitely not his. Well, here goes nothing. I do exactly as I did last time and close my eyes, concentrating and pouring all my energy into seeking out that lingering memory. It's just as I remember, painful, loud, and I almost can't bear it, as a deep, scared voice echoes in my mind. Leave while you still can. I feel force pushing me, but it's weak, nothing I can't handle, so I fight it, and hold my ground. It's not hostile, but panic, trying to tell me to go, to get out, to run. That just makes me want to stay all the more. I hear Finn saying my name, but it's quiet, almost as if I'm underwater. I want to help. Tell me how. Who did this to you? No help, just death. You can't stop them. I tried. I failed. The voice quickly disappears, and all I'm left with are more questions. I open my eyes to find Finn crouched before me, his eyes wide and concern etched on his face. Yui, what the fuck was that? You didn't hear that? Hear what? I wasn't trying to listen. I didn't want to risk my abilities interfering with yours. I exhale sharply, shaking my head. It was the hunter. That's never happened before. What do you mean? I mean, I feel things. I hear things sometimes too. But I've never directly spoken to a spirit like that before. At least, that's what I think it was. I should go. We both move to stand, and my legs feeling a little shaky beneath me. Hey, take it easy. I nod, regretting it immediately as a wave of dizziness overtakes me. Well there, are you sure you're good to go alone? Yes, I'll be fine. I just need...
You need to go and seek out Ezra. He can help you. Trust me. He's good with weird shit like this.
I mean, he's a witch doctor, so I assume so. I contemplate heading back to see August, but I suspect they wouldn't appreciate me disturbing them at this hour with little more than a ghost story. You're right. I'll head for a shop immediately. Finn nods, still watching me carefully. Be careful. Head straight there, okay? I will. Thank you, Finn. See you around, Yui. He turns and heads for the forest, a final glance at me over his shoulder before he disappears. Now I need to find Ezra, and fast. I hurry to the shop, still unsteady on my feet, and my mind is reeling. What the hell is going on in this town? I round a corner and see that the lantern outside the shop is dark. I didn't realize how late I'd gotten, and I can only hope that he's home. I knock on the door and hear a loud crash, followed by quick footsteps. Omen! The door creaks open slowly, and a face that definitely isn't Ezra's appears. I'm taken aback by the sight of Omen, his eyes wide as he stares at me. Are you supposed to be in there, Omen? He blinks, and a moment later he smiles, full of sheepish remorse. That answers my question, though it's difficult to even work up any annoyance if he's actually trespassing. Is he influencing me with his powers, or is his human face just that cute? No, I can't be simping for him. I'm on Elcar. Yes, I'm maybe kind of living here right now. Maybe. Oh, really? He smiles shyly, his ears twitching, and he looks away for a moment. Is Ezra here? He shakes his head, opening the door a little more.
No, he went out. He said he wouldn't be long, but I don't know when he'll be back.
His eyes widen a little more as if he remembered something. Sorry, would you like to come in? I contemplate rushing off to continue my search for Ezra, but I would be stupid to miss a chance to find out a little more about this curious demon. I'd love to, but just for a moment. There's a neat little pile of cushions arranged on the rug in the middle of the shop, and a handful of empty wrappers that I can only assume were once filled with treats. Aww, he has a sweet tooth. I love him. Omen rushes to pick them up and scrunches them into a ball as if he's trying to get rid of the evidence. His tail sways mindlessly as he sticks them into a small bin hidden behind the counter. Listen, I know I said I'm on Alcar, but I am willing to love on Omen too. I'm pretty sure this game has polyamorous relationships. So let me Google and see if Omen is in Alcar is like one of the options. He seems oddly at home here, so I assume he's telling the truth about staying here often. You look exhausted. Have you been busy today? I laugh quietly, rubbing my temple, my head continuing to thrum. Very busy, yes. He nods, picking up a lightly glowing blue crystal that sits on one of the displays. He fiddles with it nervously. Can I ask you a few questions? I suppose, yes. I might not be able to answer much, though. Why? He grimaces.
I try to stay out of things around here. The humans don't like me very much.
Oh, baby. Also, understandable with, like, trying to stay out of things. Like, you seem like someone who just wants to, like, live innocently, considering you're just sitting here eating candy. Because you're a demon? His mouth twists into something that looks like it's trying and very much failing to be a smile. Something like that. I suppose that's fair. It's not every day you see a demon like him walking down the street, even these days. He's well glamoured, but he's still quite obviously inhuman. In a town like this, especially one so small, I imagine he's quite an unnerving presence. And that isn't even taking into consideration what the murders and unanswered mysteries might have done to the townsfolk's nerves. I don't want to talk to him about the murders, so I'm going to ask him about himself. I don't know much about you. Where are you from, and how long have you been here in Linares? His eyes widen, his pupils dilating, and I see the slightest hint of crimson flickering in chestnut brown.
I've been here about 2 years. Time passes differently here for me, so it's hard to know for sure. You'd have to ask Ezra. He'd know.
Ah, I see. I don't miss the way he so tactfully ignored my question about his origins, but I decided not to press him if he's giving me something. Yet. How'd you meet Ezra? He lights up at that question.
I met him the day I arrived in Linares. He was the first person I saw, and he took me in without question when I was in need of shelter.
Oh, just like us. Ezra's very kind, isn't he? He nods enthusiastically. He's quite wonderful. Everyone thinks so. Well... He fidgets, dropping his gaze to his hands, fingers toying with the blue crystal again. The General, August, they don't seem to like him very much, and that makes Ezra sad. Do you know why? He shakes his head, biting his lip. No, I didn't want to ask, but Finn says they've known each other a very long time.
Ezra has been very, very kind to me. I don't want to pry, not about things that might hurt to say, or to hear.
I nod slowly. It's hard to argue with that, I suppose. I guess I gotta ask him about the murders, so... Do you know much about the recent murders? Omen passively looks out the window, a sad look crossing his face.
I know that the humans are upset, and that the ones who were killed were hunters. Ezra is tired all the time, and Finn visits him less. Alcar is... well, Alcar is distant.
Yeah, Alcar doesn't really seem to care too much. He sighs, a knot forming between his brows.
Everything is so different lately. I don't like it.
His eyes light up as he turns to look at me.
But now you're here. A solution. A fresh start.
Eventually, Omen shrugs. The wind changes, perhaps towards the shore this time? And he smiles at me, full of optimism and faith. His trust is almost sweet, but I can't in good conscience lie to him. I hope so, Omen, but it might take me a little while. Right, yes, I understand that. Why do I have to break his spirit? He's literally baby. Why do I have to break his spirit so bad? Ugh! He fidgets where he stands, his eyes flickering to the curtain that hides Ezra's living area. Can I show you something? Of course you can. One moment. He dashes through the curtain that separates the front of the shop with the back, reappearing within seconds, clutching a weathered notebook. Here, I keep notes on things I find interesting. Mostly humans, but also Finn, Alcar, Ezra. He trails
I thought
off.
maybe this could help you? If you need to know stuff about certain people, I might have something here.
Oh? I'm not sure if there's a polyamorous route still, so I'm gonna save this here. And just in case I don't want to fuck up things with Alcar, I'm gonna say, can I borrow it? And if there happens to be a polyamorous route, I'll just go back to this, and then we can go through it together, and I can date both Alcar and Omen. Can I borrow it? Omen opens the front cover, running a finger over the words. The pages are full to the brim with barely legible notes, all seemingly written quite hastily. Most of it isn't even in a language I understand. Would I be able to borrow it? He tenses, his cheeks turning beet red as he closes it and holds it tight to his chest.
I'd like to keep it if that's okay. Though I'm happy to show you if you'd like.
You know what? I can accept that. Thank you, Omen. My fingers twitch at the thought of what observations he might have made, but I daren't startle him by insisting. He seems skittish still, just like the first time we met. Maybe another time? Of course. I feel a sudden twang of pain in my temple again. The sensation is unpleasant and it burns. Yui, are you okay? Owen rushes to my side, the notebook forgotten upon the counter. He reaches for me, but he's hesitant. I can feel an imposable warmth radiating off his palm, but he withdraws his hand before he touches me. I'm fine. I really need to find Ezra. Do you have any idea where he could be?
I don't know for sure, but he usually goes to the market or the tavern. Maybe even the catacombs.
Catacombs? Catacombs? He nods, leaning closer.
Yes, that's where the vampires are.
Oh. He presses his fingers to his lips, a human gesture that looks out of place, like he's been practicing it.
I would try the tavern first, though. He did mention he needed a drink. He likes to drink a lot of wine after a busy day.
Thank you so much, Omen. I'd better hurry. I bid him a quick farewell and head back into the darkness. I push my way into the tavern, scanning every table for that shock of white hair, and much to my relief, I see the friendly face I'm looking for. He does not notice me already, his hand raised as he beckons me over to where he sits alone in a cozy spot in the corner. His smile is as bright and as wide as I remember, and I take a seat opposite him.
It's good to see you. I hope the town hasn't scared you off yet.
I raise an accusatory eyebrow at him, earning a laugh. Are you drunk, sir? Well, even if I was scared off, I can't really go anywhere, can I? Ezra smiles softly, but he seems restless. I suppose not, no.
What's that like? Being bound to do whatever you're told. By your duty.
It's lonely. I contemplate his question for a moment, wondering exactly how honest I should be. Well, it is quite lonely, especially when you're torn from your previous post and dropped into a weird town full of strangers. And murders, don't forget those. He winks, a sparkle in his eye. And murders, yes.
I'm sorry you have to endure that. Loneliness is a terrible thing, but you shall be lonely no more. We've got you now. We're here for you.
God, if it were possible, I would be dating everyone here. But alas, I can only date one, and I'm choosing Alcar. And maybe Omen too, if that's allowed. I don't know. I still need to do my research on that. He sits a little straighter, determined. We? He rolls his eyes playfully with the hand placed over his heart.
You wound me. Yes, we. Myself and Finn and Piper and, well, maybe even August, if you're lucky.
I don't know about August, but can we add, like, Omen and Alcar to that list? That'd be great, too. I laugh as Ezra grimaces at that thought.
You have people here. Some might be undead or just plain stubborn, but you have us.
Thank you, Ezra. That means a lot. He shrugs it off, running his finger around the rim of his wine glass.
We've all been lonely at some point. Some of us will always be lonely, even surrounded by people. But if there's the smallest chance that you can quell that with some good company, then you should take it.
Oh, you're here for sure, my dude. He looks up at me, and I wonder how much such a human exists. He's kind, and possibly so. I find it very hard to believe it could be an act. So you have friends here, Yui. The barmaid comes over and rolls her eyes, hand on her hip as she addresses me rather curtly. Drink? Let's see. I do want to drink, but I don't want to seem like an alcoholic, so... I'll have what he's having. I gesture at Ezra's half-empty wine glass, the dark liquid looking more than appealing. I mean, I'm not much of a ale person or a whiskey person, but I do like wine depending on like what brand it is, so I'll take wine. Oh, the same place. She turns and wanders off with yet another roll of her eyes, and Ezra poorly stifles a laugh. Don't take it personally, that's Edna. She's notoriously, short. I grimace, and as she returns with my glass of wine, I nod politely. Thank you, Edna. Edna grunts, turning on her heel and throwing me a dismissive wave over her shoulder. Case in point. The wine tastes rich, and I eagerly savor the first sip. Are you okay? You seem tense. I was actually looking for you. I need to tell you something. I need you to promise you won't think I'm crazy.
You're talking to someone who lives in Lunaris. Try me.
I mean, fair point. I mean, you're friends with a demon for fuck's sakes. And a vampire. I take a deep breath and edge closer, checking no one is listening. I visited the graveyard after I left your shop yesterday to see the crime scene. I tried to get a feel for what happened there that night. Ezra leans in, his eyes wide. And? I didn't really get much other than an overwhelming sense of loss, which is, well, quite normal considering the circumstances. People tend to feel such emotions when they're dying. But tonight I went back, Finn was there too, and I felt something different. Different how exactly? I huff a laugh, knowing how ridiculous this sounds. I heard him, the hunter, the one who died. He spoke to me. Ezra's gaze darts around the tavern, and he sits back in his chair, running a hand through his hair. He wipes the look of shock off his face quickly, putting himself to rights. His voice is low when he speaks next, barely a whisper. You sure? It was him? I nod. Positive. He told me to leave, and that there's no hope in helping. Ezra leans forward again, pushing his wine glass aside, placing his hand upon the table. His fingers are visibly twitching. I wish I can take his hand, but I can't. What does this mean? What could this mean? Is this such a thing even possible, or am I going mad? He drums his fingers on the table, seemingly contemplating his response.
Yes? It's possible, but usually only for those with psionic abilities. People have spoken to the dead before, but for a hunter to directly communicate with a spirit is unheard of. As far as I know, anyway.
He withdraws his hand, clearly racking his brain for an answer. One that he's not going to find sat in this tavern, I suspect. Are you okay, though? Do you feel weird? I touch my fingers to my temple. Very. It's almost as if he's still in there, in a way. I'm sorry I had to endure that. It must have been scary. I'm just thankful Finn was there. He managed to snap me out of it. Ezra smiles, tilting his head. He's a kind man. I'm glad he was there too, then. Oh. Oh, sir, you cannot be looking at me with that wine glass in your hand. You can't be doing that to me, sir. Please. I'm already in love with 2 men. I can't fall in love with third. Actually, that's a lie. I'm, like, mostly in love with, like, everyone in this game besides, like, August. But still, bro, you can't do this to me. Game, you can't make me do this when I can only date up to 2 people. Please. I'm so polyamorous. So, what now? He curls his fingers around the stem of his glass and sighs deeply.
I don't even know how to unpack this, but I do know that you need to rest. How's your head feeling?
I don't know. Why don't you ask Alcar? Sorry. I had to do it to him. I sigh, pushing my wine aside. Still hurting. Ezra fishes around in a pouch that's attached to his belt, retrieving a small vial full of what looks like a strange herb or flower. Here, crush this into some boiling water and it should help with the headache. It's just some feverfew and a butter burr. Completely natural, I promise. I take the vial and tuck it safely in my pocket. Do you have a pharmacy in there? He laughs softly, shaking his head. What kind of witch would I be if I didn't carry around a cure for a migraine? Yeah, especially in a bar. I should head back to the shop. I left Omen unattended with the kitchen cupboard unlocked. He'll eat me out of the house and home. I did check there before I came here and he'd gotten into the suites. Shit. And that's definitely my cue to leave.
Whatever you experience today will still have happened tomorrow. I know what you hunters are like. No matter how scary August is, your report can wait until tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm waiting, because my sleep's important, but dude, I don't give a shit about August. I smile up at him and he stands to leave. I promise, I'm drained. I need my bed more than ever right now. Please, I need to decide how to put this into words. This has changed everything for me, hasn't it? Yes, I'm afraid it did, just... He sighs deeply, resting a hand upon my shoulder.
Be mindful of who you share this information with, okay? There are eyes and ears everywhere.
Watch, like, Ezra, like, be the murderer, though I highly doubt it because Ezra's baby. Like, I still think it's that one dude. Like, the one that looks obviously evil and homophobic. He's obviously, like, the villain. But if I'm wrong, then I'll be damned. Good night, Yui. Good night, Ezra. Stare out the window and I spot the first snowflakes falling from a star-dusted sky. Winter has arrived in Lunaris. Winter! But it's almost summer here! My headache is persistent as I lay in bed, but nothing can possibly stop me from falling asleep after the day I've had. I finish the tea I made with the flowers Ezra gave me, hoping that it begins to take effect. Close my eyes, but just before I drift off, a distant whisper. Oh! My name was James. Oh shit! I'm hearing voices in my head. Not again! The voices are getting to me!